Jackie, thanks very much indeed. So let's go back to our breaking news this morning on the new energy price cap, which will rise to £3,549 from October. That's about an 80% rise. I'm joined now to get reaction by Labour's Shadow Chancellor, Rachel Reeves. So a very good morning to you. What do you make of this new price cap?
Well, although it was expected, that doesn't reduce the severity and the seriousness of this announcement. It will strike fear into the hearts of families and pensioners right across the country. And that's why Labour have called for the government to take autumn and winter and to pay for that with an extension of the windfall tax on the massive profits that North Sea oil and gas companies are continuing to make. That is the right and the fair thing to do. It's what Labour would do if we were in government now.
Well, yes, and you've laid out your plans, this freeze on energy bills over the winter, but a lot of people say it's an incredibly expensive and only short-term fix.
It's a package of measures worth £29 billion, and that includes the price freeze that would mean that no one would pay a penny more for their gas and electricity this autumn and winter. And it would also mean for the 4 million customers who are on prepayment meters, who at the moment pay more for their gas and electricity than if you pay by direct debit, that they would no longer face that premium, which would help some of the poorest people. We would pay for this through a package of revenue raisers, including £8 billion from an extension of the windfall tax, £14 billion from repurposing government announcements already on gas and electricity, and £7 billion through the lower interest that would be paid on government debt, because these measures directly reduce the headline rate of inflation, which much government debt is dependent on.
Well, yes, you say £29 billion, but is this fully funded? I noticed that the charity Full Fact today is raising some questions about whether your plan actually would cover this price cap rise. They say that your plan doesn't take into account most customers' higher gas and electricity consumption during the winter. It's going to be more expensive, and it falls short at the moment, doesn't it?
Well, last time Full Fact fact-checked some Labour analysis, they had to withdraw it a couple of days later because they'd got their numbers wrong. I worked as an economist at the Bank of England for many years before I became a Member of Parliament. I'm confident about my numbers. I'm confident that they stack up. But most of all, I am very confident that the package of measures that we've announced will make a real difference to families and pensioners who are worried sick about what is going to happen to them this winter.
It would also benefit a lot of people that don't need the help. Why are you not going for more targeted help for those who need it most?
Well, we know that people on lower incomes spend 3 times as much on gas and electricity as a share of their income than the richest households. So this will have a disproportionate positive impact on some of the poorest families. We also know that the 4 million people who use prepayment meters are some of the poorest families and pensioners in our country, and our package offers an extra £300 to them over the winter months. So we think it helps those on the lowest incomes the most. But also I would say this, I've been speaking to Leeds Money Buddies, a charity that's very active in my constituency, helping people with financial difficulties, that they say that there are people coming to them now who have never had financial difficulties before, but are now being thrown into chaos and disarray by these energy price increases. The University of York say that 2/3 of the households now risk falling into fuel poverty. And so it is important that a package of measures helps people beyond those who are on benefits, because the fact is that these devastating increases in prices are going to have impacts on people right through the income distribution. Our package is simple. It doesn't rely on rebates. It just says the prices won't go up beyond where they are already. And that will be funded in part by that big increase in the windfall tax to ensure that those people who are making big profits based on these high prices.
Apologies, Rachel. We're about to fall off air. I must thank you and say thanks.